Hey, didn't see you there, and welcome to a totally professional sports show. It's the midweek update. It is Wednesday, February 10th, and we're here to update you on all the world of sports. No, I'm just kidding. Hey guys, welcome back to the YouTube channel. We're just gonna get right into it. This is a new series, kind of just a midweek update, try to figure out what's going on in the sports world, and let's just dive right into it. So Tom Brady joked about a prop bet. So the prop bet obviously was Tom Brady over a half a yard. And Tommy Boy decided that if they line up in a three technique, Super Bowl or the quarterback coach Clyde Christensen, he revealed the plan on the Pat McAfee show on Monday, and he talked about that if they line up in a 2 or 3 technique where the offensive or the defensive linemen are on the outside, that Brady was going to make sure that he got 6 rushing yards, so that way when he needs the ball at the end of the game, that he would be over the half yard needed in order to win the bet. So he's like, hey guys, he's like, yo guys, let's just put $1 million on this thing. And coach was like, yeah, Tom, I'm gonna be honest, Tom, it's pretty illegal. Like, we can't do that. Like, I know that like you want money, but it's kind of illegal that we put money on the game. I mean, it's a great idea. He's like, I'm not saying that it's not a great idea. But, you know, so Tom basically says, he's like, I'm going to gain 6 yards, and we're going to sit on that thing for the rest of the way, and we're going to fund our offseason. Totally joking. And Coach Clyde Christensen made sure he was like, listen, it was all jokes. We didn't do it. All right, NFL, we made sure that we didn't do it. So basically, Brady, for all you Brady fans, kind of funny. For all you Brady haters, yeah, he was trying to cheat. He was trying to rig the system, and, you know, probably just makes you a little bit more upset about it. So here we go. Second story. Russell Wilson might want to be traded. No one really knows. He kind of got on a Zoom interview a couple days ago, and he was like, you know, I don't really like getting hit. I'm getting hit a lot. He said exactly, quote, Russell said, I've been sacked about 400 times, so we've got to get better, and I've got to find ways to get better too. So basically, he was throwing shade at his offensive line. He was like, guys, listen, love you, but guess what? You guys aren't protecting me at all, and I'm kind of upset about it. Russell Wilson, I believe, is the most sacked quarterback besides Deshaun Watson and Carson Wentz, which is funny because all 3 of those quarterbacks are the ones that want to get traded. So if you want to make sure to keep your quarterback in your franchise, you probably want to make sure that they're not getting sacked. It might be a good idea, especially Russell Wilson, but basically a whole bunch of teams were calling and they were like, hey, what can we do to get Russell Wilson? One of those teams, I believe, being the Miami Dolphins, they were like, hey, listen, we'll give you Tua, we'll give you some picks. Seahawks are like, nope. Made it clear, we're not dealing Russell. We're not getting rid of him. Very smart. Russell Wilson, one of the greatest quarterback talents to ever come out of the draft. He's incredible. Don't trade him. Basically, if they were to trade Russell Wilson, it would include, like $40 million in dead cap. And Russell Wilson has a no-trade clause in his contract. So it's going to be very hard to move him. I don't think Russell Wilson gets moved. Where do you think Russell Wilson gets moved if he does? Drop it down in the comments. Some people are saying the Raiders. Possibly the Raiders might want to be able to take a move on them. They have plenty of draft picks, plenty of draft capital, and they could trade Derek Carr. You never know. You don't know. Other quarterbacks that are looking to be traded, obviously, Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz is looking to be moved here in the next couple of days. He may be moved today, maybe moved tomorrow. We really don't know. He might be moved by the time this video comes out. They've really been trying to push him. Top 2 suitors for Carson Wentz are the Colts and the Bears. Both of them, Bears fans are absolutely just trying, clawing for him. PFT, you know, boy from Barstool, I guarantee he wants Carson Wentz on the Bears. The Colts, old Philly Rivers just retired. You have to imagine that they're probably going to be wanting someone else there. And yeah, Carson Wentz, I still think he's a very quality quarterback. What do you think? Do you think he's a quality quarterback? I don't know. He's shown before that in that Frank Reich system that he can make something happen. But moving on here, Deshaun Watson also looking to be traded. But guess what? Deshaun Watson looking to be traded, but the Houston Texans franchise basically saying, no, we're not going to do it. You know, we're just not going to do it. It's all right. You know, it's all right. We're not going to move you, Deshaun. I know you're unhappy, and I know we've basically traded away and not signed anyone that you want to keep, but we're not going to move you. We're going to move, you know, DeAndre Hopkins. You want to know why? Because old Billy O'Brien ain't there. Billy O'Brien made all the terrible trades. And now he's not there. So now the guy that's in charge, the old religious man, looking to the guy upstairs, and he's like, I'm just not going to move Deshaun. And DeShaun is pissed. He is just absolutely upset. DeShaun is basically like, listen, I want out. I've given you guys time. I'm not going to sit here and rot for the next 6 to 7 years while you guys try to figure it out. J.J. Watt's another piece that can be moved, but as of right now, it's really weird because the Texans were like, listen, man, we'll consider some picks. If you want, we'll consider 3 first-round picks was at first. And that was like 2 days ago when they were like 3 first-round picks and we'll figure it out for Deshaun Watson. Totally understandable. Deshaun Watson's a generational type talent. So they wanted 3 first-round picks, but then they decided, they were like, you know what? No, we're just not going to move him. We're just going to hold on to him. And DeShaun might not want to play for them, so that's going to give you a really sticky situation there in Houston, and it's going to turn into a lot of trouble. Speaking of another franchise that seems like they have all the pieces, but I guess not another franchise. A franchise that looks like it's kind of going in a downturn spin. The Brooklyn Nets, switching over to some NBA. The Nets lost to the Detroit Pistons, and the Nets are, I think, 2-7 against teams under 500, and something ridiculous like 7-1 against teams over 500, which is great when you get to the playoffs, because most playoff teams, unless you play in the Eastern Conference like they do, are over 500. But they've lost games to teams that they just shouldn't. They get beat up by Atlanta. They got beat up by the Pistons last night. Speaking of that, look at this parlay my buddy Seth, old Seth Six had. My buddy Seth Six had in. He had this entire leg parlay right here. And guess what? The only one that missed was the Brooklyn Nets. And that has got to be killer. Kyrie was sitting there. He was like, COVID protocols. We don't have Kevin Durant. Listen, Kyrie. Dude. It's the Detroit Pistons. You don't need Kevin Durant. I know you don't have a team, but Kyrie Irving and James Harden should be able to beat anyone that the Detroit Pistons can put out there. Absolutely anyone. They also have DeAndre Jordan. They can beat anyone that the lineup that you guys put out there. It's ridiculous. It's saddening. Moving on from the Nets, a really interesting story coming out of the NBA. Mark Cuban has said that they're going to stop playing the national anthem at Dallas games. So, a source close to Mavericks owner Mark Cuban says the decision to not play the national anthem before games isn't because the franchise lacks love for the United States, but rather because the organization feels that the anthem doesn't represent them. So instead, the Mavericks reportedly want to explore other ways of representing people from all communities and also honoring the U.S. at games. What do you think about that? I think it's very interesting that Mark Cuban's always been at the forefront of this whole Black Lives Matter movement and trying to make sure that all of his players are represented. And apparently, he doesn't believe that they're represented by the national anthem. What do you think? Drop a comment. Do you have a say in it? Do you not? Is the national anthem kind of washed? Do we need a remix? All up to you. Moving on. NBA MVP race. Looks like it's a three-headed race right now. We got Nikola Jokic, Bron, and Embiid. Jokic just absolutely carrying the dead weight of the Nuggets until the Nuggets decide that they want to wake up. Jamal Murray in the bubble was fantastic, and now all of a sudden he realizes that he forgot how to play basketball. I don't know why. Jokic has averaged, I think he's averaging a triple-double, but he had that span of game, which I don't know if it's been broken yet, where he has had a double-double every single game. I mean, he's had games. He carved up the Utah Jazz in the first half for 36 points. It was absolutely insane. I couldn't believe it. Bron, obviously, is just the basketball Tom Brady. It seems like Father Time's never going to catch up with him. He's just sitting here throwing up threes. He's making it look easy. It looks like he's getting better somehow. That's insane. Anthony Davis, he has the Lakers. We don't want to talk about it. They beat the Nuggets last time in the Western Conference Finals. Brett Brown finally out of Philly, and now it looks like Embiid finally has a coach with a head on his shoulders. Isn't going to make Embiid post up on the three-point line and sit there and go, hey, Embiid, I know you're a big guy, but listen here, me, Brett Brown, old Philly legend. I'm going to make sure you shoot some threes. No, put Embiid down in the paint. He's going to do great. The Sixers look awesome. They have Embiid. They look like they have all the pieces to be able to make a deep run in the West. Or in the East, excuse me. I was thinking about the West because they beat the Lakers. They have beaten top West teams. Doc Rivers, exceptional coach, doesn't seem to be able to get it done in the playoffs. We're going to have to see if that's going to be able to get it done. Now let's move over to some round ball. Just going through all the sports. Look out for some big players on the move after Arenado requested to trade out of Colorado. Yes, he requested a trade from the Rockies out of here, and we're literally paying him to go play in St. Louis, and we got traded nothing for him. We got nothing in return. We got a bag of rocks and some peanuts. I mean, if you want more about that trade, you can look right here. I mean, it's been rough been really rough. But that moving on from that, you can look at the Arenado got traded video. So maybe the Rockies move Trevor Story next. I really hope not. Trevor Story is maybe one of the only bright spots we have here in Colorado now that they moved Arenado. Because we've had Arenado, we've had Trevor Story, and then Charlie Blackmon. They've been incredible, but now watch out for Trevor Story in the move. Also, whispers that maybe Mike Trout could be moved from the Angels. Whispers coming from around the league that maybe he'll want to trade out of there. Big moves being made. That's all I have there for baseball and hockey. The Avs are still in protocol. That's all we care about. Go Avs. I mean, I think maybe the Senators beat the Canadians. It was rough. Hockey still can't get their COVID protocol under control, but it's been a weird couple weeks here in sports. Obviously looking forward to the draft here, see what happens in the NFL draft. Is Justin Fields going number 2? Obviously Trevor Lawrence is going number 1, but there's going to be those whispers in the mock draft. Well, I think Justin Fields, the way that he performed. No, stop. Trevor Lawrence is going number 1 to the Jags. Maybe Justin Fields goes number 2 to the Jets. We don't know if the Jets can move to get Deshaun Watson. I don't see what's going to happen. It's going to be an interesting draft. Maybe it'll be social distance again. This has been a totally official sports show. Thank you so much for tuning in. You guys have been killing it. Smash the subscribe button. By the way, we got the giveaway here at 50 subs. I'll be picking it at the end of the week there on Saturday. This Saturday, I'll be picking it. Make sure that you're subbed to the YouTube. DM me on Instagram at Luke Siggins, all underscores. You'll find me right there. Big old boy. Make sure you stream the song Moonlight Drive. Doing so many great things here. Talking about sports. Having a lot of fun. Love y'all. Peace.